Welcome back to Real Estate This Week, the online news channel for those of you who call Staten Island home. This is Hannah J. with realestatesiny.com. Today we'll be talking about Hurricane Sandy recovery initiatives, Staten Island zoning proposals, and much more. It has been almost 7 months, but New York City will finally be getting federal funding. Almost $1.8 billion will be given to the city for Hurricane Sandy recovery. On Friday, May 10th, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development approved a federal aid package of $1.77 billion to be used for Hurricane Sandy recovery in the 5 boroughs. Housing recovery programs will receive the bulk of the money at $648 million, while $293 million will be used to help businesses recover. The remaining $831 million will be used for infrastructure, resiliency, and recovery programs. Details on the allocation will be released later in the month, so you can check back with us for more updates. While business owners can apply for loans and grants now, the Housing Recovery Program will not be accepting applications until the beginning of June. The New York City Department of Housing Preservation and Development is also looking for qualified developers to participate in these programs. Development teams must be experienced and capable of rebuilding 1 to 4 unit residences. The deadline to apply for the reconstruction program is June 5th. Sandy victims staying in hotels can also give a sigh of relief. Roughly 890 evacuees are still residing in hotels throughout the city under the City Hotel and Interim Placement Program. Their time would have been up at the end of this month if not for a court hearing last Wednesday on May 15th. The program was set to end on May 29th, but at the conclusion of the hearing, Supreme Court Justice Margaret Chan ruled that the city would not be permitted to end the program. The city had claimed that there was no funding to continue allowing the Hurricane Sandy victims to stay at the hotels, but it was pointed out that $9 million of the $648 million in housing recovery funding is to be used for rental purposes. Supreme Court Justice Margaret Chan did not indicate when the city would be allowed to begin evicting victims from the hotels. Though still being repaired, a portion of the Nichols Marina is slated to reopen by Memorial Day. The Nichols Marina has been under a lot of stress lately. First, the marina was destroyed by Hurricane Sandy. Then the National Park Service refused to renew its lease with Marinas of the Future Incorporated, which operates the Nichols Marina. The lease had expired on December 31st of 2012, and for a while there, it seemed as though the marina would be no more. By the end of January, however, the lease was given a 3-year extension. The National Park Service is allowing the marina to rebuild no more than 250 boat slips, 100 less than the marina's original number. While much of the marina will need to undergo repairs in the coming months, the boat launch is expected to be available for use by Memorial Day. Another Hurricane Sandy damaged park is on its way to reopening. In just 2010, a shipwreck play area was added to Seaside Wildlife Nature Park on the Great Kills waterfront. This play area was a highlight for local children, but ever since Hurricane Sandy hit Staten Island, they have been unable to enjoy the park's features. Luckily, the facilities of the shipwreck play area are still intact for the most part. Work is now being done on the park to retain the level of safety that once existed by replacing the safety surfacing and more. It seems as though the goal for waterfront parks is to have them open by Memorial Day, and with such little work to be done at Seaside Wildlife Nature Park, it looks as though it may work out for this one. A vacant lot will be transformed into a beautiful park. Residents in the northern sections of Woodrow and Rossville will soon be getting their own public park. At the moment, the only nearby parks for these residents are Clay Pit Pond State Park, Preserve, and the Grand Oaks Country Club, if you could even consider that a park. But a lot of land near the West Shore Expressway will soon be transformed into a lovely little park. The 2,000 square foot triangular section of land at the intersection of Veterans Road East and Lucille Avenue was once enclosed by a chain link fence, but after the $65,000 project is completed, it will be part of the city's Green Streets program. The project is expected to be completed by the summer. A proposed zoning change for Charleston has been released by the city. The Charleston municipal site may be receiving a zoning change. The site in question is bound by Arthur Kill Road, Bricktown Way, Inglewood Avenue, and Veterans Road West. Originally, much of it was zoned as an M1-1 district, which allows for manufacturing purposes. The proposal replaces portions of the site with R3-2 zoning and C4-1 zoning. R3-2 signifies residential districts which allow detached homes with a lot width of at least 40 feet, or semi-detached and attached houses with a lot width of at least 18 feet. In this section, which is just below Inglewood Avenue, a school and senior housing have been planned. C4-1 districts allow commercial buildings that need a large parking lot, quite like the Staten Island Mall. The Charleston branch of the New York Public Library will be constructed in one of the two proposed commercial districts. Residents of Silver Lake are calling on officials to look into a dangerous intersection. Residents who live above Silver Lake Park are advocating for a traffic light at the intersection of Forest Avenue and Brighton Avenue. Currently, there are no traffic lights for the length of Forest Avenue between Hart Boulevard and Silver Lake Park Road, which leads to many motorists speeding up or down the commercial thoroughfare. This leaves residents hearing many car crashes and near accidents, especially at the intersection where Forest Avenue meets Brighton Avenue. Pedestrians try to avoid crossing Forest Avenue near Brighton Avenue because they are afraid they will be hit by a car. After a recent car crash, residents are pleading with the city to install a traffic light. The New York City Department of Transportation has promised to look into it, although they claim that not many accidents have occurred at the site. City Council members want more ferry service. In 2005, City Council members passed a bill to expand ferry service to and from Staten Island. The bill was shot down by Mayor Bloomberg, but the City Council is reintroducing it, hoping that mayoral candidates will take it into consideration. The officials believe that the existing ferry schedule is discriminatory towards Staten Islanders who do not work the normal 9-to-5 workday. Currently, the ferry only runs every hour on nights and weekends. If the proposed bill becomes a law, ferry service between Staten Island and Manhattan will be available every half hour, every day of the week. Another Sandy-ravaged business is up and running again. For 3 generations, Staten Island was home to a printing company at 631 Bay Street. Founded by Frank Esposito 25 years ago, it has been a family business through Esposito's son and grandson. This past October, however, the building which housed 3 Sons Printing, as it is known, was badly damaged by Hurricane Sandy. Now the business has relocated and opened at 88 Canal Street. The family plans to demolish the building at the former location and rebuild it to possibly house another business and apartments. Another bug has made it back to our woods, but this one's more dangerous. If you've been near any of Staten Island's wooded areas in the past week, you may have seen signs cautioning visitors about the threat of deer ticks. Ticks have recently been spotted at Willowbrook Park and in the neighboring section of Staten Island's Greenbelt. The New York City Department of Parks and Recreation began posting 200 signs near Staten Island's woodlands, informing hikers about the Lyme disease-carrying arachnids. The signs state that hikers should not expose much skin when in the woods and that they should avoid tall grass, wear tick repellent and light-colored clothing, and frequently check their bodies for ticks. The deer ticks vary in size from about 1 millimeter in diameter to almost 4 millimeters, much smaller than the ticks we usually see on our dogs. If you find a tick attached to you, use tweezers to remove it and thoroughly wash your hands and the affected area. And now, here are some upcoming Staten Island events. On May 30th, Richmond Senior Services will be hosting an awards luncheon at the historic Old Bermuda Inn at 301 Veterans Road West. The event will take place at 11:30 a.m. and will honor Carol Dunn, the Executive Director of Staten Island Interagency Council for Aging, and David Sorkin, the Executive Director of the Joan and Alan Birkenau Jewish Community Center of Staten Island. For more information, you can call 718-816-1811. On June 3rd, the Egger Foundation will be holding their Golf Classic at the Richmond County Country Club. The event will begin with breakfast at 10 a.m. and end after the barbecue dinner and the awards reception at 6:30 p.m. Throughout the day, there will be a putting contest and a scramble competition, along with lunch and evening cocktails. For more information on the event, you can contact Viana Profeta at 718-989-3087 or at 718-989-3089. On June 29th, Borough President Molinaro will be hosting the annual Celebrate America event at Wolf's Pond Park. The event will consist of a concert and fireworks display starting at 6:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and read our blog by visiting trendingsiny.com. Soon we'll also be posting a video on Hurricane Sandy updates in Staten Island, so stay tuned for that as well. Once again, this is Hannah J. with realestatesiny.com.